All right, folks, we are back, and we are back not better than ever, Rob, because we are not doing so well, but we are back, and that's the most important thing. How are we doing, big fella?
I've had better days. I've had better days. I'm
Should
in your
we
boat.
jump right into it?
You might as well. Let's just get that over with.
All right, let's recap the Geneva National trip.
Yeah. So, you know, it was there's a 2-day event up at Geneva National, Trevino on Saturday, supposed to be Palmer on Sunday. Got up there on Friday in the early afternoon, played 9 holes at his country club estates little course that they have right there. I felt great. It was a little cold, but haven't swung a club for a while. I was fine with it. So then we're supposed to be teeing off at shotgun at 9:00 on Trevino course. And there's a little frost delay. It was freezing. I mean, it was freezing here, I'm sure, but it was freezing there. And, hit the range, warm up a little bit. I sent you that picture. Place like beautiful, right? Everything was just like great. Like this is gonna be a good fucking day, no matter if it's cold or not. Bought a package, bought a box of those hand warmers, ready to go. Shout out Hook, had them in my pockets, ready to go. So then, we're playing. I think we teed off on 16. We got paired up with some guys from Itasca for it, and it was going good. And then I don't know, have you ever played Trevino?
I have.
Yeah. So we're on the 7th hole, and it's kind of dog legs right a little bit. And, it's still pretty cold, but the problem is we're waiting every hole. So we're like sitting down in the cart. It's taking forever. And we're on hole 7. I hit it into the left rough, not thinking anything of it. Get up there. The wind was pretty high. Just took an 8-iron, take my practice swings, and I set up, and the ball was below my feet. So it's kind of a weird stance, way bent over. I swung, and as soon as I hit the ball, I felt like I got shot in the back. Literally. I went fucking down like a tree. I think I even yelped. I felt like, and I'm sure from having a back issue, but I felt like it was like slow motion, like everything going down, right? So I just fall to the ground. Playing with the guys like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like fucking, I want to puke. I'm sweating, got a cold sweat. Like I literally can't fucking move. I cannot move. So Michael comes running over. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, dude, I can't get out. I'm like, just leave me here or do something. Like I'm in the rough. I just give me a minute. And I literally couldn't move. So, the guys hit, and Mike's like, dude, are you all right? I said, well, I just told you what I told you. And he's like, man, the divot you took, like you like dug into the ground. And I'm like, oh shit. So I literally can't get up. So I felt like I was in a stupid movie. I like rolled around my stomach. I literally like pulled myself up into the cart. Right.
Yeah.
And if, we're on hole 7. So we're out in the property, right? You're not anywhere close to the clubhouse. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, here, I'm just going to sit here. Let's see if it gets better. And the worst part is I put it like 10 feet, right? So I had a 10-foot birdie putt, which was even like, I couldn't do anything. So I sat in the cart. I'm like, it's not getting any better. Like I'm freezing, locking up. And I'm like, just finish 18. Let's see what happens, and we get done, and I haven't moved from the cart in like, I think it was like 2 hours. Right. So I've just been sitting in the cart, I had a piss so bad, but I was afraid to like lean over or anything like that. I was freaking out because I really never had a back issue like this before. So, so it comes to, he's like, dude, I think we got to take you to the hospital. I'm like, no, let's just go back to your house. I'll try to lay down in the bed. Maybe it'll be fine. Just laying down for a little bit. Maybe I'm just cold. So he's like, all right, well, you got to get in the car. I'm like, okay. So I try to pull, and it's just like spasming. I can't move. I can't literally move my legs. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get in the car. He pulls out the car. He backs it out. He opens the door, and then he backs the golf cart like into my door. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just going to try to fall over into my car. I wish somebody was videotaping this because I probably look like the biggest fucking idiot.
Dude.
And I got a Camry, so it's lower to the ground. And, if you don't know, I'm pretty tall. So like it doesn't transition well. Yeah. So I try to do like this elegant, like turn, fall back into my car. Yeah. And my head just like goes off the top, and that makes your back fold. Oh, and it's just like, it's like, like that just screeching pain. So he takes the cart back and he's like, dude, I think you got to go to the hospital. I'm like, oh, God damn it. So the good thing about being in Wisconsin for a hospital is there's nobody waiting to get into the emergency room in Wisconsin. Like you got in right away. It was great. Yeah. So, I don't know, what doctors have told you, but so I get in there, they have to get me with a wheelchair. It was just very embarrassing. The whole situation, like, like, all right, let me get in a wheelchair. And all the time, we talk about how old we feel and like it sucks getting old. And like, my birthday's tomorrow or Saturday, actually. I turned 39 on the 22nd. So like he's busting my balls saying, my birthday's a week away. You're getting closer. Now you're just fucking old, falling apart. So yeah, basically I was worried I slipped a disc, but I guess this is what the doctor told me in the emergency room. But if it was a slip disc in your lower back, like I couldn't control my piss. So I'd be like pissing myself, right? Stuff like that. So it was just, he basically said I tore the muscle in the back and I've been on muscle relaxers. But the worst part was like, being stuck in Wisconsin, not in your own house.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, all right, we went back to Michael's house. I got his bed. I didn't move all night. And I watched Forge and Fire from like 7 at night to like 4 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try driving home. He's like, dude, I don't think you should drive home. I'm like, I think I'm going to try driving home, at 7:30. And I tried to get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed. So here's this grown ass man crawling. I had to crawl everywhere Sunday, like go to the bathroom, get in the car. And then the worst part is he drove me home. Thank God. And, it's like 1:30. He's like, do you think you can get out? Can I give you a golf club to, use as a cane? And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try it. And I tried to pull myself out and I couldn't. I had my 2 kids like outside the window just laughing at me. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to have to crawl. I'm like, all my neighbors are going to see. I like, Michael, don't videotape it. That's all I ask. I don't really care. Just don't videotape it. So they're all fours crawling from my car to my front door and my kids are dying laughing, which is great. So yeah, finally was able to start walking a little bit Tuesday, standing straight up, and like I'm back on the med. I've already, it's still tight, but I've been already looking into where to go get like stretched out and tried to, it was kind of funny because as this was happening, I thought about you and what you said last week about like, what's your goal? You want to get more healthier. You want to, get in better shape. You want to work on your back. And now I'm in the same boat. So I've been doing some research in some places in Naperville and everything like that. So that was, it was disappointing because Geneva National was in such great shape. The dance floor, their new putting course screen out front was just fucking beautiful. I mean, and I really wanted to play Palmer because I think that's the only course at Geneva National I have not played. And I had to miss out on it. But, it sucks because it was scary. But like now I got the Jones, like you're saying, I want to swing again, but obviously want to take it easy and I want to do it the right way. So that was my little Geneva National trip for you.
It is scary, man. Number one, you got to get back to being healthy, right?
Yeah, right.
That was my thing. I was like, just don't swing until, I feel 100%. So we were just talking before this. I'm like, hey, man, in the next like week or two, I think I'm going to be swinging. He's like, fuck off. So, it's not cool. If anybody's been in that spot, exactly, how it goes. You basically, like Rob said, you feel like you get shot, you can't move. And then, the next like week is just antagonizing.
It was just, the spasms were crazy. Like, that's what, like, I don't mind the tightness or being sore, but like the spasms of like trying to stand up. And then it's just like, it feels like it's screeching. It was like, So, like I said, we're all texting each other like, oh man, we're so fucking old. And then I don't know if he listens. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But then I got a buddy that I grew up with that, obviously we're the same age. And last night he coaches his little son's baseball team. And he was showing him how to round first and he blew out his Achilles tendon. And now he's got to have surgery. And he texted us, said Father Time finally caught up with him. I'm like, man, getting old fucking sucks.
Yeah, it
absolutely sucks.
It does, man. even sometimes putting on your socks or, something
right.
as simple as that, just getting out of bed and, one wrong step, it could go south real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure just like everybody else, when they were younger, you know, they treated their bodies like,
Being invincible.
yeah,
Like,
invincible.
yeah.
We were daredevils, and now it's like you kind of got to think about it. Like even today, I was up on a ladder, and I'm like, man, one wrong step, and I'm just, I'm this close from just being completely useless.
Right. Yeah. I mean, with kids and everything, it's crazy. Like literally, if like you take for granted some of the stuff that you can do, it's just like,
Oh yeah,
fuck that. I'm going to start stretching my ass off. And, cause the cousin I was playing with, he got invited to play, Itasca Country Club today. And they had like this, it was pretty cool. They had as a 4-man scramble, and then the top 6 teams, qualified for a horse race, and they did alternate shot for the championship. And if you it's hole by hole. So if you basically 5 teams parred and one team bogeyed, that team was out until the last man standing, obviously.
right. I like those. I love the horse race effect.
Oh, I think the horse race is great.
Yeah, it is. It puts a ton of pressure on people.
Yeah, he said pictures. He's like, "How am I supposed to tee off with this?" And I said, "Well, at least you're fucking golfing."
Right. It's super fun, especially at like a club like that. It's pretty polarizing when you're there and you're in front of people you're not used to playing. But yeah, getting old sucks, man. It's not cool.
Not cool, man.
Geneva National is awesome. That picture you sent was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they're building a huge bar out there for it. And seating around and everything like that. So it was pretty cool. It was great. So
solid. Speaking of golf, did you catch any of the Zozo while you were resting up?
So, I was all excited for Ricky, and then especially going into Sunday's round. And, the pain just got to me. I didn't really pay attention. I kind of pissed off because when I got in the car, Michael spoiled it for me and told me Keegan won, which I wasn't too happy about because I really like to see Ricky win. But, I mean, he's got more points in 2 or 3 starts than he did all last season. So I think he's trending in the right direction.
Right. Yeah, I was rooting for Ricky too. I'm a big Keegan fan, though. I like Keegan.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't mind him.
I can't stand the putting. Like, the putting is just the worst.
Yeah, I mean, he is slow when it comes to when it comes to his putting routine. It's a little ridiculous. I think he's a part of that whole Scott Fawcett, aim whatever.
Yeah.
But as a player and as just a personality, I like him. Yeah, he's a good dude. So Zozo, Keegan Bradley, your champion. CJ Cup's already underway. So again, we're running behind. We had some issues on our ends. Rob went down. My daughter was sick, so we got pushed back again. But going back, Rob, surveys have been hot.
Yeah,
been good. We've been kicking around. We were actually supposed to meet this week. Obviously, with the injury, we were postponing that. But we were able to go over, the surveys, together remotely. Those are good. We got a lot of stuff brewing, Rob. Today sure. we threw around potentially hosting 1-day tournaments, whether that's singles or 2-man best ball.
Yeah, like I told you, I like the 2-man team aspect of it. I think a lot of guys enjoy that type of stuff. So I'm excited about that for sure.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think we've gotten asked enough about it. To where, I think so, in my opinion, I think the 2-man best ball is the route to go. I don't think we'll get nearly as many guys to play in it if it was just singles.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think guys they're more comfortable playing in something like that with another guy, their buddy, which is more fun too.
Yeah, for 100%.
If you don't play as well, you're not too hard on yourself because your buddy's there. So yeah, I think we're going to go that route. There's also a potential, and that would be open to non-CGT members as well. but there's also a potential for us to do what I like to call the double dip. So if we host a 1-day tournament, say on the first Saturday of the event, we have it at that course. That way guys could play, in the day of tournament on that Saturday morning and potentially win, purse money that day. And they could also have their score go towards official scoring for the event. So you're kind of knocking out two birds with one stone. So we're looking into that.
I think if we, have those early tee times like we talk about, hopefully, that's going to drive some more. So I'm excited for that for sure.
Once again, we'll have more for you guys once Rob and I meet. Got a lot of stuff cooking, Rob.
Yeah. I'm already excited for 2023.
Other than that, Rob, am I missing anything?
No. I think that covers it for right now. I know you put out the stuff for X Golf if people want to get it going with that.
Yep.
With winter leagues, makes me think behind you when you're going to start yours up.
Probably in the next month.
Yeah.
Speaking of X Golf, a couple of those leagues start up the beginning of November, and then most of the winter leagues don't start up until after the new year. But I already have info / promo codes, discounts for you guys that we'll be sending out to each tour. But just off the top of my head, so the X Golfs that we're partnered with are Geneva, Downers Grove, Orland Park, and Glenview. So just an FYI to anybody listening out there. We may or may not have something in the works for the Southside Tour at Birdie's. So just
nice.
Just a little FYI, potentially more to come.
Well, I think either way, we should probably set something up there in the winter. Have a little get together.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever been in there?
To Birdie's? No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's a great spot. Super well done. Like just in terms of the layout, the sizing,
I heard the food's good too.
Yeah. And it's super affordable, man. I mean, all the X Golfs, this isn't to say that they're not, although they're partners of ours, but I mean, Birdie's is basically like $15 cheaper. Yeah. So, simulator golf. I mean, that's all we have to look forward to for the next 6 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll get fired up here shortly, but CJ Cup's already underway. So those picks are gone. Although again, T fortunate enough to send us those, but we're going to jump right into the top three, Rob.
All right.
Are you ready for the top three?
I'm ready. After seeing your stein of Dr. Pepper, I got to know, what are your top three sodas? Pops.
You say soda?
I don't know what I say anymore, to be honest with you. I can't remember the last time I had pop.
It's pretty simple for me, to be honest.
Okay.
Number 3, Sprite. Whether you have a cold or whether you're, outdoors playing some golf, maybe playing some basketball. I don't know.
Okay.
Right. Sprite is just so refreshing.
There you go.
Just hits different. That lemon crisp, nothing like it. Number 2, Diet Coke. Diet Coke is like my afternoon substitute for coffee. And again, I probably should have mentioned this prior to, although I'm drinking one right now. Not really a big pop drinker, but when I have it, I like it. And then number 1, the goat of all goats. Do you think you know what it is?
Green River?
No. Orange Crush.
Ooh, that's actually pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, give me a large sausage za from Palermo's or Rosange's with a 6-pack of Orange Crush. I mean, you're talking about an elite Friday night.
Wow. Okay.
How about you?
I like that. 3 would have to be cream soda. Man, I love cream soda.
I used to love cream soda when I was a kid. Probably haven't had one in like 15 years.
Oh man, cream soda was shit, man. 2 would have to be A&W root beer.
Like A&W.
Oh yeah, and number 1 would have to be Code Red Mountain Dew.
That's such like a skateboarder Like, you used to skateboard when you were little?
No. When me and Vince, before Code Red came out, and he'll vouch for this. Before Code Red came out at Paw Paw, where we worked the golf course, they had Mountain Dew on the fountain, right?
Yeah.
And we just pound the shit out of it. But we also would do is we take the grenadine and pour it in the Mountain Dew to make pre-Code Red.
So you guys were drinking pre-Code Red before Code Red?
Yeah, I think we came up with it. Someone saw it.
Just mistakenly.
Yeah. So that's the number one drink of all time, and he can vouch for that one.
That's a wild. I mean, there's a lot of Mountain Dew people out there. I'm just one. Literally, I've probably had Mountain Dew, honestly, less than 10 times in my life.
Really?
Yeah, just like,
dude, my dad every day would come home with Diet Mountain Dew.
Well, really?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if we ever had pop in the house, it was leftover from like a party we had.
Sure.
We weren't really allowed to have it. So
we weren't allowed to have pop either. No,
we would crush it within like a week.
Right.
But the only thing my mom ever bought was like 7-Up, Sprite, RC, Pepsi. Coke was like the Lucky Charms of pop. Like we weren't supposed to have Mountain Dew at all.
Right.
Like, yeah, I just, I have a Hook. Actually, Hook drinks Mountain Dew. Hooks. Yeah, I just.
So we got something in common: hand warmers and Mountain Dew. I like it.
Yeah, I just never gotten. I think it smells weird, but anyways, it looks like antifreeze.
Sure. Lowers what did they say? You should lower your sperm count or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, I remember that.
I proved them wrong.
That old wise tale.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that and
laptop on your lap.
Yeah. But yeah, we're hoping to get together for next week's pod. That way we could kind of dump a ton of info on you guys. It's hard right now because we have a lot of things just kind of processing and lingering, I should say. But we just got to make some decisions, finalize some stuff, and then we'll be rocking and rolling. But there's a ton. I'll tell you this much, Rob. There's a lot of changes coming.
Yeah, good changes.
But not just like a few, a lot.
Yeah.
So it's good. I think we're in a really good spot, just overall. And now with the possibility of, the one-day tournaments, I think there's just going to be a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And then we've even kicked around the whole, we're still holding on to maybe the winter trip of the CGT, something, whether that's in, January or February going to Arizona or Florida, that's still very much a possibility. We just need to get going on it. So until next week, Rob, hopefully we're here together, but we'll see you in the fairway.
See you in the fairway, Tom.
See you, buddy.